What's up? Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? What is good? So, just stand by for 1 second. I need y'all to just give me a little bit of grace here, um, because it is taking way, and I mean way too long to share this out to the different Facebook groups that I have that I, normally share this to. So, just give me a little bit, and yeah, just give me a little bit here. Just bear with me while I share this. So, while I do that, just chill out to the music for a little bit and we're going to get this show started. Also, if you're watching this, please share this live. Share this live. If you're on Facebook, share it. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Share this link out on every platform, guys. Because I definitely got something to say today. So just bear with me a little bit longer. I just gotta. I know it's very cumbersome to have to share the stream, but just give me a little bit. All right. Yeah. Dang it. That's about right. Oh, well, whatever. All right. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for holding tight. Holding tight on that. Yeah, so happy holidays to everyone. It's almost Christmas. It's getting close. So, hope everyone is having a good holiday season and, enjoying themselves. And yeah, so, I'm gonna just jump right in. Everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Men Like Us podcast that is, really made to, share the male perspective, especially from, obviously the standpoint of men who date women in the transgender community. And, we are a community, we're a demographic that isn't often represented in a lot of media. And, there's tons of media of women talking about us, making assumptions about us. And you rarely hear from the guy. So I am here to speak, at least share my opinion, share my thoughts. And yes, I am solo today. But I have something I want to say. And it isn't, don't have it perfectly rehearsed or anything like that. It's just something that just kind of came to me. And I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like getting it off my chest, felt like just speaking, really just sharing my honest opinions and thoughts. And hold on a second. Let me do one thing. Um, okay. So, essentially, this is a topic that I don't really plan on speaking about ever again. I hope I never have to revisit this topic. It has a lot to do with, sexual identity and all that kind of stuff. And Where'd that thing go? Okay. What the heck? I'm sorry, y'all. Give me one second. Here we go. And there we go. So, anywho, the topic comes up quite often in a lot of different circles, whether it is, among trans women, among cis gender people in general, about, the sexuality of men who date women in the transgender community. So I just want to put this out there and I'm gonna just throw it out there. And if you agree with it, cool. If you don't, I hope you can think on it and come back at me a little bit later. I would love to have conversation with people about this, not continuously forever and ever, but that's why I hope, tonight what I say is really, you know, hopefully the last time I have to address this or feel like I need to say something. So, at the end of the day, this is all really about, straight men who date transgender women. Yes, that's right. Straight men do date women in the transgender community. It's a real thing. It happens. It is real. They do that. We do that. I do that. Men who date women in the transgender community, not all of us do, but a lot of us do identify as heterosexual. And I think that it's high time for a lot of people to stop trying to tell people who and what they are and just listen. Just listen and receive it and just accept it and be respectful. Just respect. Everybody's got all these different ideas about who's this and who's that. Just sit back and listen. And if somebody says, "Hey, my name is such and such, and I'm a heterosexual cisgender man, and I date women in the trans community as well as cisgender women," um, accept that shit because that's how that man identifies. There are some men who identify as bisexual. There are some men who identify as pansexual, and that's just the way that they choose to identify. So, I'm just really tired of people trying to tell me and other men like myself who we are, what we are. And, it really, and, if you have an assumption, if you have a thought saying, well, men who date transgender women are gay, men who date transgender women are bisexual or whatever, like they ain't straight. Like, yo, if somebody tells you that and it bumps up against your assumption, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, don't be heated about it. Like, just accept it and respect. Like, if you believe differently than me, if I tell you this is who and what I am, and you believe differently, um, it is not incumbent upon you to try to get me to think like you and force me to identify in the way that you say I should. So if I say this is how I identify, this is who I am, this is what I am, that shit shouldn't disturb you. How my sexuality and how I see it should not affect you at all. This is my shit. And what I'm asking you to do is just respect. So, I saw a video on YouTube, and I'm sorry, I took a couple notes because I didn't want to miss anything, when I was thinking about this. But um, there was a guy on YouTube, and I think he had a video titled something similar to what I titled this one, about straight men dating transgender women. And, he was really just saying, like, yo, no, straight men do not want transgender women. And what I'm here to really say to that individual and anybody else who thinks like that is that isn't completely true. Yes, it is true that there are men who do not want transgender women, that they're not just not attracted to them in any way, shape, or form. And that's okay. But, to speak for all men is not a good idea. And, not to say everybody is just this one way, not true. The world is complicated. It is what it is. And, some of us, I don't know. It's just some of us do, and that doesn't really take us out of our identity as straight men. So some of us do like transgender women. Some of us are attracted to transgender women. And you know what? If that ain't for you, dude, like, cool. But don't make assumptions about other people and don't get upset when transgender women, rightfully so, pursue straight men. Like, transgender women are women and they like men. They're pursuing these heterosexual relationships with cisgender men. If you don't know what cisgender means, that means a man who was assigned male at birth. So, drop some knowledge on you for those of you that don't know what that means. You really shouldn't get mad at them for pursuing men because they are women and there are men that do like them. If it's not for you, cool, it ain't for you. There ain't nothing wrong with that if it ain't for you. But don't get mad. Oh, yeah, I don't know why they're coming after me. Like, no, transgender women are not gay men. And I feel like a lot of times when men comment on this, when some other men comment on this, they're really in the mindset, well, those are men and I'm not gay and I don't want to talk to no man and this, and this. And these are not men. Transgender women are women. They are pursuing healthy relationships with cisgender men. And if this particular kind of woman is not for you, that's cool. That doesn't make the woman that you're not into a man or a predator or anything else. This is just somebody that's just not your cup of tea. And that's totally fine. Ain't nobody trying to turn you out. Can't nobody make you do nothing you don't want to do. But like, I think one of the parts of it that's really just messed up is like the reality of the situation is it's a whole lot of dudes, it's a whole lot of men who are, so-called super straight, whatever, it's clinging to that title that do like what they see when they see a transgender woman. You see a chick coming down the street, big ass, big titties, pretty face, or whatever kind of body shape she got, and you like it, you liking that, you attracted to her. But a lot of them, are too chicken shit to own up to it, to their attraction, or own up to the fact that they like what they saw before they found out she was transgender. Because transgender women are women, and that woman was attractive to you because you like women. Like, I don't see why there has to be such this gigantic separation of church and state with dudes, because it's like, yo, man, you liked what you saw, and you liked what you saw for the same reason you like what you see with any other woman, and that's cool. That don't make you gay. That don't make you any different. You the same person now that you was before you saw this person walking down the street or coming at you. And it's just really wild how people really think about this. But again, straight men do date transgender women. I am a straight heterosexual man, and I date women in the transgender community. I didn't say I only date women in the transgender community, but they are part of my dating pool. And I am okay with being open about that and sharing that fact. I guess, for me, look, it's all about respect. I'm just asking for everyone to respect, period. Like, and as a man who is heterosexual, who is, what they call transamorous, a man who, also includes transgender women in his dating pool, um, you know, I would ask everyone, trans women included, people in the LGBT community included, everyone to respect how I identify. And there are plenty of gay men out there trying to, tell me about me. You can't tell me about me. I know me. Well, no, them dudes is gay. They bisexual. They this. Well, they ain't straight. They ain't this. Dude, I told you who and what I am. So receive that and listen. I really, I was thinking about, man, what do I want for Christmas? Like, it's Christmas time. All I want for Christmas is for people to listen. Just listen, hear me, hear me, and hear other men like myself. Transgenderous men are a group that is largely misunderstood by people inside and outside of the community. There's a lot of assumptions. People have a lot of assumptions and biases and whatever else, going around in their mind. And when you finally get to hear me or somebody like myself speak, everybody wants to just jump in and tell us what we are, what we should and shouldn't do, and who we should be and who we shouldn't be, instead of just listening to us tell you who we are and what we are. Like, I don't know. I just think it's wild. And, I think I would love to see everyone step into 2022 being a lot more receptive and listening to men when they tell you about themselves. I'm telling you about me, who and what I am. I don't need you to disagree with me about who and what I am. I just need you to listen and receive it. So, I just wish, I don't know. I think at the crux of all of this, the cisgender people that may be in the comments, and again, cisgendered is just simply means your gender expression matches up with the biological sex you were assigned at birth. So my gender expression is male. I'm a man, and I was assigned male at birth. So, that's what cisgender is, just for all of y'all. But I just wish, a lot of people could really realize, like, look, if we can't agree that trans women are women, then we can't even talk about the other things on top of that. We can't even talk about we can't even have a decent conversation about my sexuality or what men like me think and all this other junk. Like, we can't progress past this level if you can't even get this basic thing down, that transgender women are women and that they need to be respected as such. And it doesn't take anything away from you to do that. Like, it really doesn't. To my female friends out there, to my cisgender female friends out there, it's like you're not diminished by trans women. Trans women's existence doesn't take anything away from you. You're still every bit the woman you were before that trans woman came into your universe, or before you became aware of them. And the men like myself and other people acknowledging their womanhood doesn't take anything away from you. The concept of being a woman is still as special and revered as it ever was. Women aren't losing rights, or nothing is getting watered down here. With the addition of transgender women to the identity of woman. So, I think that when I've spoken with some women in the past, they've really been like, well, I just feel like, they're trying to replace us, or it's taking away from me and what's important to me. And I promise you, to all my cisgender female friends out there, or even just cisgender women who are watching this, um, I've heard nothing but at least from the friends that I have in the trans community, I've heard nothing but a willingness, a desire to, come together with cisgender women in sisterhood and unity, and continue to fight for women's rights, and continue to fight to make things better for all women, period. I don't think anybody's trying to supplant your existence or take anything away from you or make you less special. um but those are just my thoughts on this, and this is just what I'm hearing, because I hear both sides of it. I, as a cisgender, as a heterosexual straight man, I'm around all kinds of people, and I'm in spaces where trans women aren't, and I just hear it, just sit and listen to what people say, and these are the things that I'm hearing some women say, and they're just like, oh, they're men, and they ain't never gonna have the same existence as me, and this, and this. And it's like, yo, there are a lot of, like, hearing the stories from both groups. There's a lot of parallels. There's a lot of shared experiences. And there are some experiences that aren't shared. There are some experiences that cisgender women go through that trans women don't, and vice versa. But there's a lot, and I mean a lot, that there's a lot of overlap in experience from what I've been seeing as an outside, as a man, as an outsider. There's just a lot of overlap. So I mean, really, just this division is just crazy. And I promise you, ladies, you're not gonna lose anything by recognizing and respecting the gender expressions of transgender women. But I'm gonna just end it with in that, because I think I went around the circle enough on my cisgender female friends. But to my brothers out there, to the other men, cisgender men, who I don't know, like, I guess who just really have an aversion to recognizing trans women as women, and even going a step further, recognizing, or at least accepting, respecting the sexual identity of the men who engage with them. Right? Like, we're just asking you to recognize these plain truths, and just respect. And if doing that, if you get to that point where somebody is asking you to do these things, and you're feeling irritation, anger, hostility, if these things crop up in you when somebody just says trans women are women, like, yo, you got to do some soul searching, fam. You got to figure out where that anger is coming from, because that should not make you angry. That should not irritate you. And I am not here to say every man should be canceled, and this, and patriarchy, that. And I'm not on the super woke feminist cancel bus train. I'm just asking people to just be cool with each other and respect. I just think respect goes a long way. And I know the men listening to this can really understand that, because a lot of men, we deal in respect. That's how we manage our relationships with other men. um so I just think it's, again, how somebody else's, I'm sorry, a transgender woman's gender expression should not affect you like that, bro. It just shouldn't. It shouldn't. Being asked to respect someone else's identity should not make you mad, make you upset, make you irritated, make you want to just walk away. Like, bro, they okay, you got it wrong, and you say, hey, that's a man, and this transgender woman says, actually, no, I'm a woman. Okay, cool. You're not the most evil person on the planet. And nobody trying to demonize you and make you, into this monster. But you just got it wrong. And that's cool. It happens. Oh, actually, I'm this. Okay. I get it wrong sometimes. Oh, actually, I'm non-binary, gender non-conforming. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I will use the proper pronouns, they, whatever else. My bad. Nobody's jumping down my throat, but I will say to the trans women who are watching this, and I mean, let's be real. Members of oppressed communities, we can tell when somebody is dealing with us in earnest, and we can tell when somebody isn't really intentionally trying to antagonize us. And, I had a friend, she was asked, I mean, when I put out posts, she asks real questions and she deals with me in earnest. She doesn't ask me questions that are meant to confirm her bias. She is really truly trying to learn. And, some of the things that I might say conflicts with what she believes, but she's still asking questions. She's trying to learn and trying to dig for information. And I'm just saying, I if you can sense that this is somebody who isn't really trying to, you know, I'm sorry, misgender you and be antagonistic. Like, we got to have some grace with folks. We got to have some grace with people, and I get it. It should be obvious for the majority women. It should be obvious as hell. It really should be. It really should be obvious. It shouldn't even come to somebody misgendering you. But after you let them know and they correct it, it's all good in the hood. And if they don't, obviously we got a whole nother situation, which is kind of why I'm talking about what I'm talking about. And I don't know. You can just throw my words out because I'm not really trying to tell trans women what to do or nothing like that. I don't want anybody to take it like I'm barking out orders to women in the community. I'm just speaking as a cisgender man who has been on the other side of it, and who was very ignorant once upon a time about a lot of things in this space and just didn't know. I'm sitting in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now, and I have to tell you, I maybe saw one transgender person, maybe, and I don't even know if that person was actually trans. I don't really know now. Growing up, so it was just like there are places and where there are places like Milwaukee where you just don't run into very many transgender people, and the concept can be a little foreign to people, and it just takes time for them to learn. But I mean, thank God I had a willingness to, and I did. um but anywho, fellas, I know, to the super straight cisgender men out there, I know I could hear you shaking your heads at me. I could hear you shaking your heads. I could hear you shaking your heads at me. And you know all I'm asking is just for you to give everyone the same level of respect that you want for yourself. Like, you want people to call you by your name. You want people to recognize you as the gender that you present as. And that's all, women and men in the transgender community are asking for. So I really implore you to give the same level of respect that you expect to get back to you, to be given back to you. So that's really all I had to say, y'all. But it's real. Straight men do date transgender women. I'm not saying all of them are. I'm not saying all men are secretly attracted to trans women, but there are some of us that do. But because we do, that doesn't mean we're different. That doesn't change our sexuality at all. It doesn't change how I go out on dates. It doesn't change the kind of women that I pursue. I date the same kind of women that I was dating before. So it didn't change the same characteristics, qualities. A lot of that is largely the same. None of that has changed for me. I didn't just all of a sudden switch up and started dating completely different kinds of humans than I did before. So, with that, I'm gonna just wrap all of this up, and it is what it is, y'all. I just appreciate everyone for watching. Um, Thanks to everyone in the comments. I'm sorry, this wasn't one of those shows where I could just, mash in all the comments. I really just wanted to get this off of my chest. And I appreciate y'all for listening. Whoever is listening, the people watching live, I appreciate y'all so much for watching, and I appreciate y'all for supporting the Men Like Us podcast. Before I close this thing out, all I'm gonna do is just ask that y'all please, please, please get on the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, set up your notifications, follow us on Twitter. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Men Like Us podcast on Patreon. Yo, we are having some real fucking conversations on Patreon, and it's a level of conversation that is just too real for this channel. really. So we saying some real stuff there. And yeah, it's behind the paywall, but it's some real stuff. It's worth it. It's worth it. We had some me, myself, and Troy. We had some really dope conversation last night, and we plan to have more. And we have plenty of mixed gender conversations. Yes, I invite them. I invite women on the show, and men and women. We just kicking it, talking, and it's just all good fun and great conversation. Everybody's really honest on the Patreon channel, which is dope. And I'm honest here because trust me, if I wasn't honest, I wouldn't have the amount of haters and people upset that I do now. Trust, but get on that Patreon. It's $5 a month. That's the lowest. Goes up to 15. Um, Please follow us on Instagram at Men Like Us Podcast, and we'll be back next week with our year-ender show. Next week me and the guys are gonna sit around and we're gonna talk about a lot of the things that really some of the biggest things with the show this year. Obviously we are gonna revisit the Janet Mock show because that was a controversy in itself. Definitely was inflammatory to some people. So we're definitely going to revisit that and have conversation around that and some of the other shows and some of the other moments of the year that really stood out and put a nice bow in the year. So you want to join us next Friday? Next Friday we are going to do it. Wait, next Friday? Oh no, that's New Year's Eve. So it's probably gonna be Thursday because I ain't gonna try to ask people to come on New Year's Eve when they're trying to get out and party, even though you should be staying at home. That Omicron is running wild. So anywho, thanks everybody in the chats: Troy, Roy, Chantrell, D, Shanette, Leah, James, Latreya, who we, Kanisha. Thanks. Oh, Gambit, what up, boy? Yeah. So thank you, everyone, um, for supporting tonight, and we'll just see you next time. So till then, peace.